Men, listen up. A cheating woman may think she can hide her secrets forever, but the truth always finds a way to slip out. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to spot it. I'm talking about 6 powerful clues that can expose a cheating woman in seconds. Clues that most men completely miss because they're too trusting or simply don't know what to look for. These aren't wild theories or paranoid delusions. These are real patterns that cheating women follow, almost like a playbook they don't even realize they're using. And once you know these signs, you'll never be caught off guard again. Before we dive into these game-changing clues, hit that subscribe button right now and drop a comment if you've ever spotted one of these red flags yourself. Your experience could literally save another man from months or even years of deception. Trust me, after watching this video, you're going to see things differently. So let's get straight into it. Clue number 1, her phone becomes off-limits. The first and most obvious clue is when her phone suddenly becomes Fort Knox. I'm talking about a complete 180 in her phone behavior that happens almost overnight. Think about it. When you first started dating, she probably had no problem leaving her phone lying around, maybe even letting you use it to look something up or take a photo. But now it's a different story entirely. Her phone is suddenly always face down on the table. It's constantly on silent mode, even during the day when she used to keep the ringer on. She's added new passwords, face recognition, or fingerprint locks that she never bothered with before. And here's the kicker. She gets genuinely nervous or anxious when you're anywhere near it. Watch her body language when her phone buzzes. Does she immediately grab it and angle it away from you? Does she wait until you leave the room to check her messages? These aren't the actions of someone with nothing to hide. A loyal woman doesn't treat her phone like classified government documents. She doesn't panic when you accidentally see a notification pop up. She doesn't create elaborate excuses for why she needs privacy with a device that used to be completely open territory. The phone behavior change is so common among cheating women that it's almost universal. Why? Because that little device contains all the evidence. The flirty texts, the secret calls, the dating apps, the photos she's sending to someone else. Her phone has become the gateway to her double life, so naturally it becomes off-limits to you. Now clue number 2, unexplained changes in schedule. The second major clue hits you in the routine. Suddenly, her schedule starts changing in ways that don't quite add up, and she can't give you clear, consistent explanations for where she's going or what she's doing. These aren't normal life changes we're talking about. This is when she starts having late nights at work that never happened before, especially when you know her job well enough to realize that overtime isn't normal there. She's taking mysterious work trips to places she's never mentioned, with colleagues you've never heard of, for projects that seem vague when you ask about details. Then there are the sudden errands that make no sense. She's going to the grocery store for 3 hours. She's visiting a friend you barely know for the entire evening. She's taking yoga classes that somehow require her to be unreachable for 2-hour blocks. Here's what really gives it away. When you ask natural questions about these new activities, her answers are either too detailed or not detailed enough. She either gives you a whole elaborate story about why she had to stay late, complete with names and situations that sound rehearsed, or she gets annoyed and says something vague like, "Just work stuff," without any real explanation. The timing of these schedule changes is crucial too. They often happen during periods when she knows you'll be busy or distracted, when you're working late, when you have your own commitments, or when she knows you won't be expecting her to be available. A faithful woman doesn't create mysterious gaps in her schedule. She doesn't suddenly develop a social life that excludes you entirely. And she definitely doesn't get defensive when you show normal interest in how she spends her time. No. Clue number 3. She gets defensive at simple questions. This third clue is absolutely crucial because it reveals how guilt changes someone's behavior. When a woman is cheating, even the most innocent questions trigger defensive reactions that are completely out of proportion to what you actually asked. You might ask something completely normal like, "How was your day?" or "Who was that on the phone?" Questions that never bothered her before. And suddenly, She's responding like you're interrogating her for a crime. "Why are you asking me that?" becomes her go-to response, even when the question was just casual conversation. She starts turning simple questions back on you. "Why do you need to know?" Or, "Since when do you track everything I do?" These deflection tactics are classic signs of someone who's hiding something and feels guilty about it. The defensiveness often comes with anger that seems disproportionate to the situation. You ask where she went during lunch, and she explodes about how you don't trust her or how you're being controlling. But here's the thing: if she had nothing to hide, why wouldn't she just answer the question? Watch for the pattern of deflection and redirection. Instead of simply answering what you asked, she turns it into an attack on your character or your relationship. She makes you feel like you're the problem for asking perfectly reasonable questions that couples ask each other every day. This defensive behavior is her guilt talking. When someone is living a double life, they're constantly on high alert, ready to defend against discovery. Every question feels like a threat. Every casual inquiry feels like an investigation, because they know they have secrets that could be exposed. A woman with nothing to hide doesn't get angry at normal questions. She doesn't create drama where none existed before. And she certainly doesn't make you feel guilty for showing natural interest in her life and activities. Clue number 4, new effort in appearance. The fourth clue involves a sudden, unexplained upgrade in how she presents herself, and it's usually not meant to impress you. Now, don't get me wrong. People naturally evolve their style over time, and there's nothing suspicious about someone wanting to look good. But we're talking about dramatic changes that happen quickly and seem disconnected from anything happening in your relationship together. She's suddenly buying new clothes, but not the kind she usually shows off to you. She's investing in expensive lingerie that you never see her wear. She's spending significantly more time on her hair and makeup, even for casual outings where she used to dress down. The gym membership she never used before becomes a daily priority. She's suddenly concerned about her weight or her figure in ways that seem to come out of nowhere. She's trying new hairstyles, new perfumes, new everything, and none of it seems to be for your benefit. Here's the real tell. When you compliment these changes or notice her extra effort, she doesn't seem particularly pleased or excited to share it with you. A woman dressing up for her partner wants him to notice and appreciate the effort, but a woman dressing up for someone else, she might actually seem uncomfortable when her partner pays attention to these changes. Pay attention to the timing of when she makes these extra efforts. Is she getting dressed up for activities that don't include you? Is she putting on makeup for girls' nights or work events, but then comes home looking like she hasn't been out having innocent fun? The investment in appearance often extends to things that take time and money. Professional manicures, new hairstyles that require salon visits, clothing that's more revealing or fashionable than her usual style. These changes require planning and financial investment, which means they're important to her for some reason. So, clue number 5, emotional distance creeps in. This fifth clue is perhaps the most painful to recognize because it affects the intimacy and connection in your relationship. When a woman is cheating, she gradually withdraws emotionally, and it creates a coldness that you can feel even when you're in the same room. The affection that used to be natural and frequent starts to dry up. She's less interested in physical touch, not just sex, but the casual touches, the hugs, the hand-holding that used to be automatic between you two. When physical affection does happen, it feels obligatory rather than genuine. Communication becomes surface level. She's no longer interested in the deep conversations you used to have. She doesn't share her thoughts, her concerns, her daily experiences with the same openness. When you try to connect with her emotionally, she seems distracted or disinterested. She stops asking about your life with the same curiosity and care she used to show. Your problems, your successes, your daily experiences don't seem to matter to her anymore. It's like she's physically present, but emotionally checked out of the relationship. The emotional investment that relationships require, the effort to understand each other, support each other, grow together, starts to disappear from her side. She's going through the motions of being in a relationship without actually being emotionally present for it. This happens because her emotional energy is being directed elsewhere. When someone is developing feelings for another person or investing emotionally in an affair, there's less emotional capacity left for their primary relationship. She can't be fully present with you because part of her heart and mind is already somewhere else. The emotional distance often comes with a subtle but noticeable change in how she talks to you. There's less warmth, less playfulness, less of the special intimacy that couples share. Conversations become more functional, about schedules, responsibilities, practical matters, and less about connection and emotional sharing. Clue number 6, overcompensating with kindness. The final clue might be the most confusing one because it actually looks positive on the surface. This is when she suddenly becomes extra sweet, extra thoughtful, or extra affectionate in ways that feel out of character or out of nowhere. She's buying you surprise gifts for no special occasion. She's cooking your favorite meals more often. She's being unusually accommodating about things she used to push back on. She's giving you more compliments, more attention, more of what looks like love and affection. But here's what's really happening. Guilt is a powerful motivator, and when someone is betraying their partner, they often try to ease that guilt by overcompensating in other areas. It's like her subconscious is trying to balance the scales. If she's being unfaithful in one area, maybe extra kindness in another area will make up for it. This overcompensation often comes in waves. She'll have periods of being unusually sweet and loving, followed by periods where she's distant again. The inconsistency is key. Genuine affection and care tend to be more steady and predictable. Pay attention to the timing of this extra kindness. Does it happen after she's been out late or had one of those mysterious schedule changes? Does it coincide with times when she's been secretive about her phone or defensive about questions? The pattern often reveals that the kindness is guilt-driven rather than love-driven. Another telling sign is that this kindness doesn't feel entirely natural or spontaneous. It might seem like she's following a script or trying to prove something. Genuine love and affection flow naturally, but guilt-driven kindness often feels performative. The overcompensation can also extend to being unusually agreeable or accommodating. She's not arguing about things she usually has opinions about. She's letting you make decisions she would normally want input on. It's like she's trying to be the perfect girlfriend in obvious ways to distract from what she's hiding in less obvious ways. Haskell closing and call to action. So there you have it. 6 powerful clues that can expose a cheating woman in seconds. Her phone becomes Fort Knox. Unexplained schedule changes that don't add up. Getting defensive at simple questions. Sudden new efforts in appearance that aren't for you. Emotional distance that creates coldness in your relationship. And overcompensating with kindness that feels guilt-driven rather than genuine. These aren't random suspicions or paranoid thoughts. These are real patterns that unfaithful women follow, often without even realizing they're creating such obvious tells. When you know what to look for, the signs become impossible to miss. Remember, one of these clues by itself might not mean anything. People can have legitimate reasons for changing their phone habits, their schedules, or their appearance. But when you start seeing multiple clues together, when there's a pattern of secretive and defensive behavior, that's when you need to pay attention. Trust your instincts. If something feels off in your relationship, if your gut is telling you that something has changed, don't ignore those feelings. You know your partner better than anyone else, and you can sense when their behavior doesn't match who they've always been. If this video opened your eyes to some uncomfortable truths, if it helped you make sense of changes you've been noticing, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to this channel for more content that helps men navigate relationships with wisdom and awareness. And here's what I really want from you. Drop a comment if you've ever caught one of these clues yourself. Share your story, even if it's just the basics. Your experience could literally save another man from months or years of deception and betrayal. Sometimes all it takes is one person sharing their truth to help someone else recognize their own situation. The truth might be painful, but it's always better than living a lie. And remember, if someone is cheating on you, that's not a reflection of your worth or value as a person. That's a reflection of their character and their choices. Stay aware, stay strong, and never ignore the signs when they're right in front of you.